The Perfect Genetics Challenge, Generation 1, Episode 27. Welcome, Carrots here. This has turned out to be a very busy episode. We open with little Percy out in the garden in the play area with his imaginary friend Pat. Now Percy is the youngest of Olivia's children. She didn't actually need any more children because she had her heir, but she agreed to have one more because of Don's wish, which was going to give him a lot, like thousands of extra lifetime happiness points. And that wish was to have another baby with Olivia. So that's why we've got little Percy. Here's Owen sitting at the table reading, and Olivia's just finished eating. She's sitting there as well. And in the background we see their eldest son, Gary, who is fixing the sink that broke. Gary's imaginary friend, Cosmo, watching him and cheering him on. The reason we can see Cosmo is because Gary's the active sim, of course. Imaginary friends play a significant part in this story. Several of the children and teens are in the process of trying to make their imaginary friends real. They continually get offered the opportunity when dreams come true, but I keep on rejecting it. That results in them having to find a pink diamond, and I don't want to have the hassle of spending hours looking for a pink diamond. I'd much rather them spend the time learning to make potions on the chemistry table. So that is what several of them will be doing, and every so often I'll let you see them having a little bit of success or a little bit of failure, but we won't watch them as they just stand there trying to discover potions. That's the house they live in, and for some reason it started snowing. It's springtime and it's quite close to the end of spring, so I don't know why it's snowing, but it is. The house keeps expanding. The most recent expansion I've done is that huge greenhouse that I've put out the back. It's still under construction. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't put the roof on, but I've got to decide how big I really want it before I add the roof. I think it's a bit too big. I might be shrinking it somewhat. It's to replace the greenhouse that's inside the house. I'm going to turn that area into their kitchen and dining area because where it is now was okay for when the house was tiny, but I think that would be better spent as a TV room and foyer for when people arrive in the house. Now this is little Petal with her imaginary friend called Cosmo. I think all of the children except for James, who is the second eldest, have made great friends with their imaginary friends and will be trying to get them made real. James, of course, is grumpy and he doesn't like his imaginary friend much, so there's no chance of that one getting made real. I had a vague idea that maybe somebody, particularly one of the heirs, might marry an imaginary friend, not necessarily their own. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all these extra sims that we're going to have when the imaginary friends all turn real. Of course, that's Cindy there now. She's playing with her imaginary friend as well. Her imaginary friend's name is Rags. Now, Cindy is the heir, and she's going to age up to a teen in this episode. There's Cindy eating her breakfast, and it looks like little Percy's going to have a sugar cookie for breakfast. As James just walked back outside again, he's got the blue skin he inherited from Olivia. He's the only one of Don and Olivia's children with blue skin. The rest of them have all inherited Don's green skin. When Cindy ages up and takes over as the sim having the babies and trying to get an heir, which will be Generation 2, her future husband will have pink skin. I'd like to see what their babies turn out to be like. You'll actually be meeting him because he's going to move into this household during this episode, and he'll be arriving as a teen. We don't want to waste any time when Cindy finally ages up to young adult. We want that future husband to be ready to go so they can start having babies straight away. Olivia's there reading recipes. I suspect Don's reading recipes as well. Olivia is almost at the top of the culinary career, which is excellent because she'll soon have that fridge that I'm after. You know, the fridge that I haven't had for years. Once upon a time, every game my sim got the fridge. First thing was we go for the fridge, but I haven't bothered for years now. And when we get that fridge, their food won't go bad if it's put in the fridge while it's still fresh, and they'll have this positive moodlet all the time whenever they're near the fridge. That's great. Some of them have gone to the science facility for school excursion, and that was why we just saw the hospital, because it's a combined science facility and hospital rabbit hole. Percy's got to collect some butterflies and moths, so he's set off looking for insects. It's got an opportunity to fulfill. I think it'll take him a while because the moths are always not available till the very end of their search. Olivia got invited to a party after work, and after that female sim left, and she just went, The party consisted of just 2 Sims, and Olivia was one of them, and she was dancing on the ground floor. And I don't know who the other one was, but he was dancing on the floor above. So it wasn't much of a party. But I sent Olivia home. I thought, well, what's the point? I think it's Whale and Wolf, actually. So Olivia went home early. Wasn't much of a party. And when she got home, that Martin, the baby from hell, as I refer to him, constantly wanting attention. He was screaming and had been screaming for quite a while. I was very surprised when Olivia went to pick him up and fed him and played with him a bit, because she's got the dislikes children trait. And now here comes the aliens for an abduction. I think it's Olivia being abducted this time. We seem to have a lot of alien abductions. There's actually a few loose space rocks in their basement. The basement's quite tiny, and when I opened up the game to start playing for this episode, it was very sluggish, almost ready to crash, and I went through and cleaned out all their inventories, which was a good idea because they were full. She wasn't gone long. Actually, I cut all that bit out. There's the alien, and Olivia's not happy, of course. So I emptied all their inventories, and there were some space rocks in some of the children's inventories, so I haven't sold them, but I haven't analysed them yet. I'll get them to analyse them, then I'll sell them. And of course the other issue is I had to reset the lot, because once I reset the lot, it worked beautifully. But before I reset the lot, I actually lost one of the Sims, and Gary just vanished. I got him back by resetting him, but then I decided I'd reset the entire lot, and it all ran smoothly after that. There's more butterflies for Percy to catch. There he is. He's happy. I'll keep him running around looking for moths, while some of the others are going to be working on their discovery of potions. That's Petal. They're searching for the potion to make themselves an imaginary friend. Petal, of course, was Olivia's idea. Olivia wanted to grow a forbidden fruit, and she did, and when she picked it, we got Petal. And Petal is a copy of Petal in the big game with the Oscar's childhood story living at Moonfall Island. But this is the game that Petal originated from, is this one here, Perfect Genetics Challenge. Little Percy's given up on chasing butterflies. He's decided to come home and practice his goalie skills, trying to get a goal through that net. He finally does find this sweet spot, and he gets quite a few. I'll send him out chasing butterflies every day until he finally gets all of the butterflies and moths that he needs, because they only spawn a couple of different ones each day, and he's got to obviously build up his butterfly collecting skill to get some of the harder ones. There it is, he'll get the goal there. Got it. That's his sweet spot. If he stands there, he gets it every time. Anywhere else, he seems to miss it. Petal's just discovered a potion. Congratulations, Petal. I think that they probably get the potion that they're all looking for, the one to turn imaginary friends real, once they've learnt every other potion that there is to learn. I've discovered that when Sims are after a particular potion, they always in my games at least, have to find all of the other potions first. Uh-oh, Gary just failed that one. He's better go and have a shower. He's all singed. I've noticed, though, in my Carolyn and Friends game, I've got Marie trying to find another potion, one of the stink juice or something like that. I just forget which one it is. And on the 4th potion she discovered was the one to make imaginary friends real. And I thought to myself, that's just not fair. She doesn't want that one. She doesn't even have an imaginary friend. There's no imaginary friends in that game. Petal just got another one. She's on a roll. See what happens. I might get her to try again, but she'll probably get singed. Cindy's working hard over there in the corner. Gary better ignore that foam. We don't want him to stop looking for that potion. It takes such a long time for them to discover any potion at all, and then they end up getting singed instead. This is in the Elixir consignment store. One of the locals is rocking, and another one is playing the guitar, while they've got music blaring in the background. Of course, little Percy's in here somewhere as well. He's been on another butterfly hunt. Yeah, Percy's reading a book in the quiet little spot away from all the loud music. I think it's about time he went home. To put the book away first, though. Add it to the pile on the counter. You never know who or what you're going to find when you visit the Elixir consignment store. another alien abduction. And this time it's Don. Let's hope he doesn't get pregnant. One alien baby's more than enough for this household, and little Martin is not the happiest child. Here he goes. It looks like somebody's sleeping in the treehouse. You can just see the Z's coming up above in the middle of the sky there in the distance. That's where the treehouse is. Up above the green dragon that's on the ground, you can see all the Z's. That's the treehouse. Somebody's sleeping there. Probably Percy, but it could be Owen, because sometimes he sleeps there as well. We have seen Owen very briefly. He was sitting at the table right at the beginning. I didn't mention him. Hopefully we'll see more of him in the game. He's the third eldest son. Don and Olivia had 3 children, all boys, and then Cindy was born. Then they had Percy, and then Olivia picked Petal, and then Don got abducted and had an alien baby, Martin, and now he's been abducted again, and here he comes home from his abduction. I sincerely hope he's not pregnant. I would see it as a minor catastrophe if he is, because I'm really looking forward to there being no babies, no toddlers, until Cindy starts having hers. Olivia is autonomously back to look after Martin again. This is a screaming alien baby. I've got to the point with him now where, unless one of the Sims gets up autonomously in the middle of the night, I don't wake them up to go and tend to him, because he wants to be cuddled and played with 2 or 3 times during the night, as well as about a dozen times each day. Probably about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning now. It looks like it's just getting daylight outside. The alien abductions usually happen at about 3 a.m. This is little Bindi. I thought he was drowning, so I told him to get out of the pool, and he had no trouble. He just got straight out. So he must have just been doing his dog paddle. Okay, so he didn't like getting out of the pool. He's going to bark about it. Typical dog. Olivia's back inside reading some more recipes. I think she has mastered the cooking skill, because I believe that recipe she's learning is either angel food cake or ambrosia, because she did both of them at about this time. Birthday party time. It's time for Cindy to age up. I had to stage it on a day when the others were not at school, when they weren't at school, and in the morning, because both Don and Olivia go to work in the afternoon on the weekends. So this will be Saturday morning, birthday party for Cindy. Now, I haven't shown you him yet, but I must have already got Bill in the game, because I introduced him to the game before she aged up to teen. And so you will be seeing Bill shortly. He is the future husband. He's a teen at this stage. That's her father and 3 of her brothers there, which you can see. That's Owen right next to Cindy, and then James with the blue skin, and then Don, their father, and Gary at the end, who's the eldest. Owen's the 3rd son, and James is the 2nd. And there she is. We've got a little Cindy. Now, I needed to give her a specific trait here, because I wanted her and Bill to share at least 2 traits so they'd be slightly compatible. And the reason I chose Genius was because Don had a wish for her to age up to a genius, and I wanted him to get that wish because he got 2,500 lifetime happiness points for it. There's Percy and Petal. Everybody was there cheering. And there's Olivia. I think most of them got a piece of cake, but not all. The household's now got more than 8 Sims in it. There's Bill. He's got the pink skin and the white hair. That's an experiment to see what colour their children turn out to be. Be interesting if they get an heir that's got pink skin as well as the bright pink hair and the pink eyes that they have to get, because they've got to get Olivia's hair and eyes always, each generation, to be the heir. And the next time that Cindy ages up, she is going to have to get the just dislikes children trait. The other trait she's got in common with Bill is party animal. And I think I changed one of Bill's traits so that he would have, that the pair of them would end up with 2 traits the same. Just helps them be compatible. If they're not compatible and I get them together, anything's likely to happen. So I play with free will, and they're likely to each head off with match up with other Sims autonomously. Let's enjoy the birthday cake. I changed her clothes, but I left her with that hair. It wasn't the hair I would have given her, but she won't be a teen for very long. And I don't usually use that hair, but it's the hair I used to have on Gabby from the big game. Gabby was the daughter of Goodbye's Coffee and Patience, one of the children at the beginning of that big game that I've now got some other stories in, such as Oscar's childhood and the McFluff story, are both in the big game. Gabby's got that hairstyle, but she's got black hair. So there is Cindy having a chat with the university mascot who's delivered her the university goodies. She got the mail as well while she was out there. She's being quite a friendly little sim at the moment, isn't she? But don't get used to that outfit. She ends up with a different outfit. I was going to get her to keep that one, but I ended up changing it by accident. I actually didn't realise I had changed it until it was gone. I was going to let her have 2 everyday outfits. She might as well get some university goodies while she's there and clean up those newspapers that are scattered all over the place. I'll have to put one of the big outdoors recycling bins out here somewhere, because we've got a little indoor recycling bin in there in the kitchen, and she is taking everything into it all the time when this bin is outside here really close. So I'll have to give them a big recycling bin outside. That was little Percy that walked past. Now, there's the chaps all enjoying the nursery, and there's Bill standing quietly in the middle, and Cindy's wasting no time. She knows she needs a boyfriend, and she knows he's the only one in the place that's available to her, so she's having a little flirt to let him know that she's serious. It's James carrying Martin. So from here on, we're going to be focusing on the relationship between Cindy and Bill. I want them to be boyfriend-girlfriend before the end of this episode. Although, looks by that thought bubble that Don's got above his head, that's not very happy for me. It looks suspiciously like he might have a moodlet that I don't want him to have. She's standing under the mistletoe because it's this mistletoe up there, and she wants a kiss. Bill's going to have to learn to do what he's told from little Cindy. She looks taller than he is. Then she's wearing high heels, I suppose. See, she's had her change of outfit. Looks like Percy going to have a swim. See if we can get Bill and Cindy out here as well. That's Bill. Boom! Big splash. That's what we used to call a bomb dive when I was at school. That could be Ginger Cat running around out there. You can see I've put windows in the greenhouse now at the back. I'm still pretty sure I'm going to make it smaller. This will be Cindy. She's going to come and have a dive as well. Is she going to do a bomb as well? No, she's just going to fall in. It was a bit of a failure, Cindy. I've been working quite hard with them. I haven't recorded the video of all of it, but I think they're almost ready to become boyfriend and girlfriend. I hope so, anyway. See, that's the existing greenhouse we just saw for a second on the right. Sorry so much of this video is at night, in the dark, outside. The lighting is very bad. Another little flirt going on between Cindy and Bill. They won't take it anything beyond flirting or making out until they've grown up and got themselves married. But then it's going to be full-on baby making until she gets an heir. Somewhat later, they actually did watch the stars, but they chose a spot which was impossible to get any video of it. And they're much better being indoors with the lights on. We can see them. His skin is very red next to her green skin. So they're having a group outing and they've got hearts. Well, they formed a group by the look of it, and they've got red hearts above their heads. So Cindy and Bill seem to be enjoying her day of aging up to teen, her birthday. The rest of the family aren't taking much notice of them. There's their red hearts over their heads now. We might leave them. I'm sure they'll get tired and go to sleep soon. Martin is indulging in his favourite activity, screaming his little lungs out in the baby bouncing-ette thing. He's supposed to be calm in that thing, but he's not. Next morning, it's breakfast time. Looks like Bill's having a muffin. There's certainly a contrast in the skin colour between Don and Bill. Don's getting a little fatter too. Have you noticed? He's got that dreaded moodlet. The unexplained weight gain moodlet. The one they get when they've been abducted and they're pregnant with an alien pregnancy. They just get fat all over. It only happens to the males. The females are safe. I haven't had the same sim get abducted twice and have 2 alien pregnancies, one after the other. And the first baby is still a baby. And I've only got the baby's life as a baby set to 10 days. And I'm going to leave Martin go for the entire 10 days before he ages up. But I will buy him a cake. He'll have his birthday before the end of this episode. Yes, Don's definitely getting larger. We'll have a bit of a focus on Don expanding for a little while now, I think. At least Bill's learned how to do the washing up. Do you hear that noise? That's Don expanding. I should have mentioned that little Percy handed in all of his butterflies eventually and got his reward for completing the opportunity in time. We're seeing plenty of the different members of the household. There's Don, he just expanded again. That baby's grown. Look how fat he's got now. It's a bit later now and it's bedtime. Everybody's headed off to bed. I think Don's expecting to expand again before he goes off to have his sleep as well. There he goes. I think it's time he went to sleep. Night, Don. Next morning, Cindy was up early reading some recipes. She's got a lot of hard work ahead of her before she can age up to young adult. She's got to get onto the honour roll at school and stay there for 3 days, and that could take her a while. Plus, she's got to learn lots of new skills. She's already got quite a few skills, but, we've got to... There's things she couldn't do as a child that she's going to have to work on now. Oops, there's a gnome just appeared. A springtime gnome. It is springtime in the game too. This morning is Sunday morning and it is time for baby Martin to age up. And there's his birthday cake waiting for him. He's decided to have his party out on the patio upstairs just outside his parents' bedroom. Of course, he's an alien, so they're not really his parents. Don's leaning backwards for his pregnancy waddle. At least he won't have 2 alien babies at the same time. The current alien baby is about to become a toddler. Everyone's still in their pyjamas by the look of it. Now Cindy's got changed into her everyday outfit. Bill's fitting in with the rest of the family. He's like he's just one of the crowd now. Maybe it's Monday morning and that's a school bus out there honking its horn. Whatever morning it is, it's the time for Martin's birthday. Looks like Gary's not waiting. He wants to go to school. Candles have been blown out. Now it's time for little Martin to spin into his toddler gear. See, he hasn't even got a green plum bob. He's the centre of attention. He's still not happy. Yes, that's a school bus out there. It's got to be Monday morning. Some children are going to be late for school today. He doesn't get any new traits when he ages up to toddler. So that's it. No more babies for a few minutes at least. He can start learning his toddler skills now. Take him down to the nursery. Wonder if he'll keep screaming like he did as a baby. I hope not. And everybody's racing off to school. No time for birthday cake. Don is he going to expand again? It's got to be getting close to time for this baby to be born. That will be the victory for little Percy handing in his insects, his butterflies and moths. Look how chubby his legs have got. Now Don went and hid in the tiniest room in the house, and he must be about to give birth. I can see, I think he's only got a couple of hours to go, and I wanted to be able to get a video of him giving birth, and there was no possibility. The room that he was in, we just weren't going to see anything. So I sent him out into the garden, but he's still got a couple of hours to go. He's having a chat with Ginger Cat at the moment, but that won't keep him in the garden for very long. So I told him to go and have a swing, and he can keep swinging on the children's swings until it's time for his baby to come. There he is swinging. He's going to swing for a very long time, but we won't watch all of that. He's a very enthusiastic swinger. I think we've had a look at everybody in the household in this episode. There's Ginger Cat again in the background. I think I named it Ginger. I have a cat of my own who is a ginger cat, and his name is Ginger. And I used to have 2 little fluffy white dogs living here as well, but they went back to their owner. So I'm dogless these days, but I do have a ginger cat. So Olivia's come out to join him. And they're going to swing together. Wonder how long it takes for them to be swinging the same. There it is. They're now in unison. Uh-oh, he's got to get off his swing. Something's about to happen. There it is. Yes, we'll raise the baby. We don't want to be kept in the dark about what happens to it. And it's a baby girl. Let's call her Mary, because we have Martin. I guess she's got to have some traits. Genius. A friendly genius. Very good. I used to make lots of my Sims friendly genius when they were born years ago. Haven't done it for a long time. There she is. Baby Mary. Let's hope she's not a screamer like your brother Martin was. Well, I think this is the end of the video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Please give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed and you want to see the next episode. And thank you for watching. These 2 are girlfriend and boyfriend now. So, bye-bye for now and happy simming.